Welcome to this overview of the Tandem fire sprinkler software. I'm going to show you how Tandem can accelerate your sprinkler design within Revit projects and complete your fire sprinkler design workflow in a matter of minutes. How long would it take you to complete a compliant fire sprinkler layout for a model like this? The general consensus is between 1 to 3 days. I'm going to show you how Tandem can do it in minutes. This model is a hospital floor plan consisting of 441 rooms. We're going to be placing approximately 1,000 fire sprinklers in this layout. I'm going to show you how Tandem does this effortlessly inside of Revit, one level at a time. Tandem integrates with Revit, and you access Tandem on the Revit ribbon. There are 4 buttons in the workflow. We begin with Settings. The first setting option is Standards and Units. Tandem allows you to select from Australian standards, NFPA standards, and British standards. You can also select either metric or imperial, depending on where you are in the world. The next setting option is Sprinklers. The sub-options of sprinklers include ceiling offset preferences. Under Family, there are default family files that come out of the box with Tandem, as well as Victaulic sprinklers. You can also upload your own family files. In the tile position settings, you can select the positions where you would like Tandem to place sprinklers on the ceiling tile throughout the Revit model. You can select only center of tile, or you can open up maximum available positions for Tandem, as it then looks to calculate a position to place a compliant sprinkler while avoiding any clashes with obstructions in a room. And then finally, Design Standards. Tandem works with light, ordinary, and residential hazard classes. If you have a custom design standard that you want to work with, click the Add Hazard class to manually add the desired spacing, name the customization, and click Add. Once you're happy with the settings, we click on OK. Next in the Tandem workflow is Room Creation. And what this is going to do is it's going to generate the rooms in your Revit model, and it's going to help Tandem isolate the individual rooms. Today, in this hospital model, there's only one floor. We're going to click Select the Level 1 here, and we're going to click OK. And what Tandem does is analyze the Revit model and generates individual rooms for it to work with. And we get a message here that room creation has been completed. You can see here, Tandem has added tags to the rooms in your Revit model. If you have existing room tags or IDs in your Revit model, Tandem will maintain that same room name. Once we've completed room creation, the Hazard Classification button allows you to set a different hazard class for Tandem to use when laying out your sprinklers. By default, this is Light Hazard, so we don't need to change this for our current project. The next step in the workflow is to simply start generating sprinklers. We select Below Ceiling and Exposed, and now Tandem is going to begin the workflow for going through all 441 rooms. Tandem is analyzing the model, looking for the ideal location to place fire sprinklers in a coordinated and compliant position. We're going to give it about 20 to 30 seconds for it to complete this workflow. Tandem aims for 80% compliance. Then you, as the fire designer, review the layout and use the Advanced Design tool to make the necessary updates where there may be any non-compliances based on modeling inconsistencies or intricacies to ensure a coordinated and compliant layout. Now that Tandem has generated the fire sprinkler layout, it launches a pop-up window called Advanced Design Tool. This is your interactive tool to review the layout and make any adjustments to the fire sprinkler placement that Tandem has generated. As we zoom in, you will see blue circles which indicate compliant placement of fire sprinklers. Yellow circles indicate light fixtures, and the gray squares represent other obstructions, for example, HVAC or air conditioning grills. The green shading indicates the coverage area of the sprinkler. Double green shading indicates that there is overlap in terms of the coverage from a neighboring sprinkler. Red shading indicates a non-compliance, or that this is an area which is not being covered by a sprinkler. Tandem does its best, based on your setting preferences, to apply clash detection and provide a coordinated fire sprinkler layout. However, in some instances, based on your preferences, for example selecting only center of tile, Tandem may not be able to provide a compliant location in some rooms due to existing obstructions in the model. As you move across the floor plan as a fire design specialist, what you are looking for are orange circles. Orange circles indicate non-compliant sprinklers, or red shading indicating insufficient coverage. In this room, we can see that there are 4 orange non-compliant sprinklers. This is due to this room having multiple ceiling heights, and the sprinklers are too close to an obstruction or coverage, which means that compliance is not being met. By selecting the room, the tool options are enabled, allowing you to resolve these edge cases in the model. For this scenario of multiple height ceilings, select Ceiling Trace. The Ceiling Trace tool instructs Tandem to treat the spaces under different ceiling heights as individual rooms. It then reanalyzes the room and generates a compliant sprinkler design while meeting all the coverage requirements. On the left-hand side, you can see here there are orange non-compliant sprinklers. Tandem is great with simple rooms such as rectangles and squares. However, where there are complex rooms in a model, Tandem requires a small amount of human input to generate a compliant layout. In examples such as this, you as the fire designer need to click on the room and provide Tandem with some guidance using the splitting tool. Using the splitting tool, you will go ahead and split the complex room into square or rectangular shapes for Tandem to analyze. The splitting tool allows you to create digital walls for Tandem. These are not real walls that will be generated in your Revit model. These are simply digital walls which allow Tandem to break complex rooms into simpler shapes, and it treats each individual space as a separate area for sprinkler design. Once you have completed your wall splitting, you can hover your mouse over these different areas, indicating Tandem will now treat them as separate rooms. Once you're happy with the splitting, click on the green tick in the top left-hand corner. Tandem will then generate a compliant sprinkler design for these rooms based upon the manual editing that you have done. This is a great tool to work with complex areas. Another thing Tandem enables us to do is to align to lights. As you move across the floor plan, you can edit any rooms that are not how you as a human want the sprinkler design. For example, in this room here, you may want the sprinklers aligned to the lights. You select the room, click on the Grid Edit function, select the Align button. This tool quickly enables the fire sprinklers in the room to be aligned with lights. You can also see the dimensions from walls in the room. You are also able to freely move sprinklers as well, with real-time feedback. When sprinklers are non-compliant, the line will turn red. You will note that sprinklers will also display as orange if there is an obstruction that is clashing, which indicates the sprinkler cannot be placed in that location. You can also see the dimensions clearly noted that indicate the distance from the nearest wall. Once you are happy with the placement, select the green tick. You can also use the free edit function. By selecting a room, you can also freely edit sprinklers and move them around, receiving real-time feedback on the distance from the nearest wall. You also get real-time feedback on the coverage. For example, if you place the sprinkler in this location, you will note the red shading, indicating is not covering this section of the room and therefore not compliant. The great thing about Tandem is the real-time feedback that it provides to you as you are editing and designing your fire sprinkler layout. Once you are happy with the placement, click on the green tick to apply the changes. As a fire designer, you will continue to review the entire level, inspect any rooms that you want to fine-tune. Once you are happy with the fire design layout, select Place Sprinklers. Tandem then pushes the fire sprinklers design from Advanced Design tool into your Revit model. You can now see that Tandem has pushed the fire sprinkler design into Revit. As you move across the model, you can see the fire sprinklers have placed as indicated from the Advanced Design tool. This completes your fire sprinkler design layout on this level. So I hope that gave you a very quick overview of how quickly Tandem can create coordinated and compliant fire sprinkler designs for you, saving you days or potentially weeks on your fire design work.